Hi friends, welcome back to another Christmas Marathon tutorial. I hope you enjoyed watching and even painting along the past few weeks of tutorials that I've posted. If you haven't already, do check it out. And for today's painting, we'll be using this picture here as our reference photo. If you're interested, I'll have the link below. And then we'll be painting this lovely scenery of the snowy mountains with these trees. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's jump into our materials for paints. We will be using 3 colors. First color here is greenish umber. This one I'm using is from Sanalia, a very nice dark green. And then we have this turquoise color. I think this one is aqua blue from Winsor & Newton. And then for the third color, I'll be using neutral tint. So we will have these 3 colors, and I'll be mixing greenish umber together with this turquoise, and we'll get this nice evergreen color here. So this will be the color I'll be using for painting the trees. And then for a darker shadow, I'll be adding more neutral tint into this color here to get a bit more of a darker green, mixing in greenish umber as well to get this darker green color. Yeah, so we're using just these few colors for today. And for brushes, I have 2 mop brush, one smaller size and one larger size. And then a synthetic brush for the details. And then I might probably use this for painting in the background of the larger areas. Okay, let's jump right in for the sketch. And I'm gonna have my snow coming down here. And we have our foreground tree, and a shorter tree, and the taller tree here, and another tree. So this one's gonna be taller than this tree. And then I'm gonna push them back. And then for the background, we have some faraway mountains here. I'm going to sketch this really lightly, but it'll just be around here if you can't see it through the screen. I want to have it really, really light because we're using a very light wash for the background, and then more trees in front here. Then we have this snow going down, receding towards the background, like so. Then we have like a tree here. Okay. So this is the faraway mountains, and then we have the trees in the background, and then this will be some smaller trees here, and then we have these bigger trees in front. Just a very simple sketch. And then let's dive right in. So let's use this color, but I'm going to add in a lot of water to dilute it and get a really, really light wash. Like this here. Okay, starting from the top. Going to bring it down. And then towards here, I'm just using water to blend it downwards. Alright. And then stop right here where the snow is. Okay, so I'm going to lift my board up. Elevate it a little, and then let's go in with our faraway mountains. So it will be not as diluted as this. So I'm going to add more paints. Like this. Okay, so I'm going to have this coming down. I'm going to darken it a little more. Okay, because later on it's going to dry much lighter. And then lifting the paper up will prevent the paints from spreading upwards. Okay, and then I'm going to go more, a little darker again. Going to add more greenish umber and turquoise. Okay, and then now we're going to paint in these trees. You can see here is more greenish umber than turquoise. So I'm playing around with the two hues. And then here for the bottom one with this brush, just going to blend it out like so, just with water. Okay. Probably going to darken this a little more. And then create lines like this to show the illusion of these trees. If you feel that your paints is spreading out too much, means this mixture of paints is too watery, so you want to make it a little more concentrated by adding more paints, which is what I'm doing here. So with more paints, you can see it becomes more concentrated and thicker. It doesn't spread out so much, it's not so diluted. Okay, so we are done with the first layer. Okay, so what we have done here is by creating this atmospheric perspective, which is by creating depth by starting with the lightest color and then slowly adding more darker colors, increasing a value. The more we increase the value, it will bring the subject closer to the viewer's eyes. So yeah, so we are done with the first layer. I'm going to let it dry and then we'll come back again. Before we dive right in, I'm thrilled to introduce to you a new YouTube membership option. By clicking on the join button right here, you can unlock a world of exclusive benefits. There are 3 membership tiers to choose from, which gives different levels of access. Once you're a member, you get immediate access to over 20 tutorials, such as behind-the-scenes videos, digital downloads, discounted merchandise, and many more coming your way. If you have enjoyed my YouTube video so far and you'd like to learn more or get more creative painting ideas and painting tutorials from me, this is the place for you. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, we are back. So I've given this a quick dry using a hair dryer, so make sure it is completely dry before moving on. And you can see I have all these strokes coming out, and I'm not too much worried about it because I'm going to go back in later to fix that. So let's just leave it for now. And then I'm going to paint in our foreground trees. And here I'm going in with a lot of greenish umber and just a tiny bit of turquoise to increase the value even more to this. Okay, and I'm going to start from the top. Just paint in the leaves. And then while doing this, be sure to leave all these white gaps in between. So I'm just following the reference photo. I think I'll switch over to a bigger brush. And then while doing this, keep in mind where the branch, the tree trunk is. So basically going for an upside down V shape like this. And then I'm going to draw out the tree trunk. Let's mix neutral tint into the mixture. And then with broken lines, I'm going to paint in this trunk. And then here, using water, I'm going to just blend this out like so. Okay, I think I've covered this tree next to it, so I'm going to push it more to the right. Let's let it sit here. Going to have the other tree around here. And then again, blend this out into the snow. And using neutral tint, using only neutral tint, just draw out the trunk, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to add these two as well. So to make the composition better, I'm going to have this tree maybe lesser leaves compared to this one. And then I'm using bigger strokes as well. Just pressing it into the paper like so. Okay, and then switching over to a smaller brush. Let's keep adding in the trunks, mixing greenish umber with a bit of neutral tint. can see while the paints are still wet, you get that nice bleed coming out. Then the other tree here, this one I'm going to make it lighter. Then we have, let's paint in the faraway trees. And again, I'm going to use a much lighter shade like this. And then I'm going to just dab it like so to blur it out a little. And I'm going to do the same for this, just to cover off a bit of that background in the distance, because don't want too much details. I'm just using water to blend it out. Okay, and then just adding more details for the snow. And then using dry brush, I'm just scratching the paper with my brush like so. Create dry patches like this. And if it comes out too harsh, just blend it out with your brush. I'm going to define this a little more. Like this, just with a very light wash. Okay, that looks better. And then blend it downwards like so. So you have these mountains and then the trees here. Okay, we are almost done. I'm going in with neutral tint to give it some accent. So I'm just putting like tiny little dots around the darkest shadows area, so that to help the trees pop out a little more, mainly on these two trees in front. So it will depend on your painting. You may not necessarily need this step. If your painting has enough depth and enough details, you may skip this step, but I think I'll just refine it a little more. Okay, so I've dried this already, and then now for the final step, let's splatter in some snow. Then going in with some bigger splatters. And you want more, especially around the darker areas. So when we were painting earlier, don't be afraid to go as dark as you can. The darker the better, because then it will stand out once we add this snow in. Alright, so just to give you a close up, this is what it looks. I really like painting this because it only requires 3 simple colors, and the rest, the only thing we need to focus on is just creating depth in our painting, where we have for the further background, we use a very light wash, and then as we try to bring it forward by using this atmospheric perspective, we just add more value and creating more darker shadows for the foreground. So that's all for today's painting, and as usual, if you painted along with me, do share with me on Instagram. I would love to see and share your works. Otherwise, that's all from me today. I'll see you in the next Christmas marathon next week.